Hi, guys. So, right now we're going to talk about thank you notes. Thank you notes are something that used to be a lot more common in society, and sadly, it's not done as much as it really should be anymore. So it used to be that after you would receive Christmas gifts or birthday gifts or wedding gifts or things like that, that you would send out thank you cards to people and just say thank you for considering me and for taking the time to buy me this gift, and it was really thoughtful of you and I appreciate that. Um, and unfortunately, we people don't do that so much anymore. I try to remember to do that after Christmas and after birthdays and stuff like that. Um, but what really can make you stand out after an interview is to send a thank you card. Now, if it was a business interview, you could do this by a handwritten note like this, but it also could be just in an email. And as an employer, I owned a business for many, many years, and I hired people all the time. And I might be hiring for the position of a bookkeeper, and I might have two candidates that were equally qualified for the position. And I might take a day or two to really think through, okay, which one of these candidates am I going to hire? Well, one time I had two candidates that were completely equal for the position, and I knew that they would both fit in with the company. And a day or so after the interview, I received a thank you note from one of them. And I realized, oh, this is a person who really understands appropriate communication and manners. And so that put that person just a little bit above the other person in my mind. And so I hired that person. They ended up being great at communicating on the phone and in written communications. And so that little extra time of sending a thank you note after an interview can be the thing that sets you apart and gets you that job. Of course, you need to be skilled also, but that idea of sending that thank you note can put you above and beyond. So what we're going to do now is we've given you a template for a thank you note. You might need to pause the video for a second so that you can go open that thank you note, and you can be adjusting yours while I'm doing this. So I'm going to give you just a second. And welcome back. So you should have your thank you note open. And once again, just like I did with your cover letter, I've put all these fields in red. And at the end, we're going to adjust it so that it's all in black, and we're going to save it into your professional portfolio so that you have this as an example for you later on in life when you do go to an interview, and then you think, oh, I need to send a thank you note. How do I do that again? And then you have it ready. You can just adjust it for whatever works for you. So this would be a document. You could type from here down. You could use this in your email if you were to do this by email. You could send it in stationery. You could handwrite this out on a card. Any of those things would be appropriate. So if you're going to send it as an official letter, you're going to come in here and you're going to change this to your name and your address. Oops. You're in Wheatland. Make sure that you're using proper punctuation on all of these. Your phone number. And the email that you want them to respond to you. Maybe that thank you note puts you over the top and they're like, that's it, we're going to hire this person right now. Make sure that you are putting the email that you want them to contact you at. Okay, so I'm going to give you a second to complete that information. You can pause and come back. And you're back. So make sure that you are addressing this to the person that interviewed you, or the primary person. Sometimes you're in an interview with a panel of people. You want the main contact person to be the person that you are directing the letter to. So let's say that, like in our cover letter, you were preparing to interview for the position of a TA. for a teacher. So you would put the name of the teacher. So maybe you were interviewing to be a TA for Mr. Soderlund. So you would put Jason Soderlund, the company that they work for, Union High School, address, and city, state, zip. Okay, I'm going to give you a moment to fill that out. You can pause. Welcome back. So you want to put the date that you're writing this letter, and hopefully the date that you're writing the letter is the same date that you interviewed on. So, you went to the interview, you went home, and you created this thank you note. So today I'm doing this on April 20th. You can put today's date down if you would like. And then you want to have your salutation. Make sure you always use like dear, and you would address the person properly. So you would say something like, Dear Mr. Soderlund, thank you for the opportunity to interview with you on whatever the date of the interview was. For the position of, make sure that you put the title of the position that you were interviewing for. Okay. And then you might say something like, I greatly appreciate the time you took with me. I look forward to hearing from you in the future, and I hope to be considered for the position. I feel that I could be a great asset to your company and that I could find a way to grow in my career with you. You could, if there was something a little more personal in the interview that that maybe was just kind of a fun little thing, you could add another paragraph and say something like, let me know when you finish watching the final season of Stranger Things, or something like that. Whatever it was that maybe had kind of a personal connection in the interview. You don't have to do anything like that. You could just leave it as it is. Please feel free to contact me if you have any questions or require further assistance. Sincerely, comma, and then you would type your name here. You would print it out and sign it here with your signature. And then you would mail it in or email it. Again, if you're doing an email, you only need this part of the letter. Okay. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to change this so that it's entirely in black, because you wouldn't want to send different colors in your actual letter either. And then we're going to save it into your professional portfolio. So do a Control A or select all. Change your font to black. And then you're going to move the document. Now you can go to File, Move, or this little folder right here is your Move folder. You're going to navigate this so that you are in your Google Drive, My Drive. Somewhere in your My Drive, you should have your professional portfolio where you have your cover letter and your resume. You're going to tell Google Docs to move it here. Move. And now you have a sample thank you letter that you can move from dismiss. So now you have a sample thank you letter that you can use in the future after an interview. Good luck getting that job. Let us know if you have any questions. We are always here to help you. We will see you later. School's always better when you're here.